Hey guys, this is Kevin Jones, your spiritual operator, your unconventional chaplain. Guys, today what I want to talk about and what I'm excited to talk about is just this question of, are all special operators type A personalities? And the question is, do I have to be a type A personality to be a special operator? This is a big question. You know, the short answer is no. Not every operator is a type A personality. Now, coming from a medic who happened to be an operator, or an operator that happened to be a medic, was probably a better answer. I get to see a whole lot of how operators are built, how they're made, blood pressure, hypertension, you know, heat casualties, pushing themselves and going beyond, above and beyond to not only impress, but to make the cut. And what tends to happen is that the people that get selected, they're hard workers, and they have a high personal standard, and they're just likable. And these are the things I really want to talk about, because it's not so much about the actual, am I a type A personality? Am I driven? Am I a lion? Am I am I the alpha male? It's not so much about being the alpha male, about being this driven person. But there are three characteristics that you will find. And so if you want to call this type A, if you want to call this alpha male, you'll find this in almost at least every single operator that I've been around. But the first characteristic is that they cannot quit. Now, I have to preface this. When I say that they cannot quit, that doesn't mean that don't have thoughts of quitting. That doesn't mean that they don't want to quit. This literally means that they just cannot quit. It's almost built within them. They've made a decision. They've made a commitment. And because of that commitment, it doesn't allow them to quit. Now, to be careful, that doesn't mean that they're not smart enough to back off. They just can't quit. And so it's within their creed, it's within their DNA to keep going. Water's this great equalizer where it will make the best person quit. But, and I've seen it. I've seen people that I never thought would quit, ever, in my whole imagination, quit. That's what water does, it's the great equalizer. But those who make it are those who cannot quit. And I'll tell you this, I knew that I had that within me, that I cannot quit. The question for me was, could I actually accomplish the different requirements that came in doing water confidence, and if you have that cannot quit in you, if you have it within you, then you'll be surprised what your body can do. I just leave it right there. You'll be surprised. Let's say you have that cannot quit characteristic, right? And you're required to go run an undetermined ruck march or ruck run. You got to do it in the quickest amount of time you can in 104-degree weather. Now, typically that wouldn't happen. Let's just say sometimes it does, or it has happened. So what you'll find is that a guy who has that cannot quit within them, and this is coming from a medic, you'll find them falling out, and then you take their temperature and it's 108. You can't tell me this isn't true, because I've seen it. 108-degree temperature. Immediately you strip them down, put a fan on them with water, get them in the shade, obviously. But that cannot quit showed a weakness, and that weakness is that particular person could not back off. They couldn't read themselves. They didn't know themselves well enough. So having the cannot quit characteristic is a strength, but it also is a weakness. So the question then is, can that person back off? Can they actually back off? And so in my own circumstance, if you start to get cold while you're working out, like freezing cold, then you're probably overheating. So back off. You know what I mean? So as you're cruising along and you're in front of everybody, does winning mean that you have to end up getting a heat casualty and possibly getting kicked out of the military? All because you have to be first? Oh, the first characteristic that you'll find in this type A personality, in these operators, is you'll find they simply cannot quit. Now, the second one, they have a high personal standard. The high personal standard, whether it comes from a commitment in the Ranger Creed, whether it comes from the way they were brought up, or whether it comes from just the way they were built somehow, a high personal standard, it's going to make you outstand. It's going to make you outstand from your peers. So that high personal standard happens with integrity. It means that when nobody else is around, you have a high personal standard. You're gonna go to bed on time, so you get enough rest. You're going to have your stuff set up before, with plenty of time to sleep. You're gonna have all your stuff laid out, your kit's ready, everything's gonna be ready. The high personal standard means that you don't have to have anybody looking over your shoulder to make sure that you did it right. You have a high personal standard. In fact, if you help others, you offer your services to help others and make sure that they're set too. So you'll find that those type A personalities, those folks who are going or tend to make it through selection, that they have a high personal standard, a high personal standard. And I would say hard work probably goes along with that. That high personal standard, it's when in everything they do it to the greatest of their ability. Whatever their hands find to do, they do it with the best of their ability. And it's a powerful concept, but it doesn't matter what they're doing. They do it to the best of their ability. And so I would say that if you have the cannot quit, and you have the high personal standard, that maybe you're that type A personality. Maybe you're that person that could be an operator, could operate at the highest levels. The truth of the matter is, those people tend to pick up opportunities as they come. In other words, if there's an opportunity to go one more, if there's an opportunity to lead a group, to pick up leaves, they're like, I got you. I'll do it. No matter how hard it is, no matter what it is. Yeah, maybe it's menial, but it's a chance to serve others. And so those are the type of people that tend to fill our special operations teams and units. Now, the last one, and this is one that I think is very, very much underrated, and it's very simple too. So you've got one, that they cannot quit; two, that they have a high personal standard and that they work hard. But the third one, and this is one that I believe is underrated and hard to find, is charisma. So it's not a type A personality. What it really is, it's truly a leadership quality that can be learned too, simply to make others just feel like they're the greatest people in the world. It's a leadership quality. Dolly Madison was known for having these elaborate parties, and when people would show up, she would make them feel like everybody's been waiting. The party's been waiting for them to show up. So imagine you showing up and your hostess has like, oh my gosh, we have been waiting for you. We are so decided you're here. We want to find out everything that's going on with you. We're so excited you're here. Thank you for coming. The party wouldn't be the same without you, obviously. Knows your names, knows all that kind of stuff. And just, yeah, you're like, okay, wow. Gives you the place of honor at the actual party. And then when it's time for you to get out and you're heading home, she goes, oh my gosh, the party won't be the same without you. The party's only been great because you guys were here, but that's okay. Go. And she hands you a bunch of stuff, and leaves you with a gift, or with a blessing, making you literally leave. The whole time she's listening to you, other people, connecting you with people who are listening to you, allow you just to share your heart and just have a good time. That is charisma. It's making that other person feel like they're the greatest person in the world. This is something that you will actually find in those type A, in those alpha male, in those that fill the ranks that are special operations. You will find those that are charismatic, the good ones. Leaders, they have a leadership quality. It allows them space with authority. It allows them influence with peers and with subordinates, and it allows them influence with their leaders. And it's a powerful, powerful thing that's very much overlooked. So from my humble opinion, when it comes to type A personality, no, it doesn't. A type A personality is not necessary to be an operator. But what you'll find in those that are successful in special operations is you'll find, first of all, that they cannot quit, but they can back off. Secondly, you'll find that they have a high personal standard and hard work. They're tough as nails, right? They're high personal standard and they're hard worker. But thirdly, they're charismatic, and they make everybody feel like they're the greatest person. Would you please like, subscribe, and share this video? Also, hey man, I'm learning through this video process, and so I know people have said that you need to get sound stuff, you need to work, on all this when it comes to editing and stuttering, and gotcha. I'll do my best, With that all said, hey guys, stand up, stand out. Until the next one, I'll talk to you later.